Hello, my friends, my brothers and sisters, holy body of Christ Jesus Christ. There are moments in life when things come to an end. A relationship fades, a job closes, or a chapter you cherish begins to feel like it no longer fits. It's not easy to let go, but endings are not failures. They are transitions. God doesn't close a door without having something better in store for you. Let it in even when it's hard to understand why, because God's plan is always bigger than what you can see in the moment. Every ending, no matter how painful or confusing, is intricately woven into the fabric of God's divine plan for your life. It's easy to feel lost when a chapter closes. Whether it's a relationship, a dream, or an opportunity you believed was meant to last forever. You might question why it had to end, or why you're left standing in the aftermath of what feels like a storm. But God sees beyond the storm. He sees the entire landscape of your life, and every ending is part of His intentional design to lead you to something greater. Sometimes endings come because we've outgrown a season, even if we don't realize it yet. God, in His infinite wisdom, knows when it's time to close a door. He knows when you've learned all you can from a situation, or when staying in a certain place would limit the growth He has planned for you. These closures are not rejections, but redirections. They are God's way of protecting you from staying in a space that no longer aligns with His purpose for you. Think of a gardener pruning a tree. It may seem harsh to cut away branches that are still green, but the gardener knows that pruning is necessary for the tree to bear more fruit. Similarly, God removes certain things from our lives, not to harm us, but to prepare us for greater abundance. When something ends, it's a sign that God is making room for new blessings, new relationships, and new opportunities to flourish in your life. It's also important to remember that God's timing is perfect. What may feel abrupt or premature to us is right on schedule in His divine plan. He knows the exact moment to move you forward, even if it means pulling you away from something you thought you needed. His plans are not haphazard or random. They are deliberate, crafted with your ultimate good in mind. You may not always understand why a season has to end, but faith means trusting in God's sovereignty, even when you don't have all the answers. Trust that He sees the bigger picture, that He is working behind the scenes to align every detail for your benefit. Each ending is not just a conclusion, but a preparation, a stepping stone to the next chapter of your journey, one that is richer and fuller because of the experiences you've gained along the way. Pain is never wasted. It always serves a purpose far greater than we often realize in the moment. It's easy to see pain as an obstacle or a punishment, something to avoid at all costs. But in reality, pain is one of the most profound tools for growth, teaching us lessons that comfort and ease could never provide. It refines us, shaping our character and strengthening our faith. Pain stretches us, making room for wisdom, empathy, and resilience to take root in ways we didn't know were possible. When you face pain, it's not because God has abandoned you or forgotten your prayers. Pain often becomes the very space where God does His deepest work in your life. It's in those moments of brokenness that you realize how much you need Him, how much you depend on His strength when your own is run out. He doesn't allow pain without a purpose. Every tear you shed, every moment of heartache is part of His plan to bring you closer to the person He's calling you to be. Think about the process of refining gold. It must endure extreme heat to remove impurities and emerge as something precious and beautiful. The same is true of our lives. Pain is the fire that burns away what no longer serves us, what holds us back, or what keeps us tied to places we've outgrown. It clears the path for us to step into a new season with clarity and purpose. The loss of pain also teaches us compassion. When you've walked through difficult times, you gain a deeper understanding of what others may be experiencing. You become a source of comfort and encouragement for those who are struggling because you've been there and you know the strength it takes to keep moving forward. It's through your own pain that you learn how to love others more deeply and authentically. Sometimes, the purpose of pain is to show us the limits of our own control. It humbles us, reminding us that we can't navigate life alone, that we need God's guidance and grace in every step we take. Pain breaks down our pride, our illusions of self-sufficiency, and leaves us open to the kind of surrender that leads to true healing and transformation. It's important to remember that pain is not the end of the story. It's a chapter, a process, a season, but it's never the final word. God uses it to prepare you for something greater, to equip you for the plans He has for you, and to remind you that even in your darkest moments, He is with you, working all things together for your good. Healing is not just about mending what was broken. It's about stepping into a new season of life with a deeper understanding of yourself and a greater connection to God's purpose for you. Healing is a process that transforms you from the inside out, peeling away layers of hurt, doubt, and fear, and replacing them with strength, peace, and hope. It's not a quick fix, and it's not always easy, but it is always worth the journey. When God begins the work of healing in your heart, He doesn't just restore what you've lost. He makes you stronger, more compassionate, and more resilient than you were before. Healing allows you to see your past not as a series of wounds, but as stepping stones that led you closer to the person you were always meant to be. It's a renewal that touches every part of your life, your relationships, your mindset, and your faith. Healing brings clarity, helping you to release the things that no longer serve you and to embrace the promises that God has for your future. It's like a gentle rain washing over parched ground, bringing life back to areas that felt dry and desolate. You begin to see opportunities where you once saw obstacles, and hope where you once felt despair, desperation that God has for you, that regeneration with harvest, and makes life better than the broken promises. And true healing requires surrender. It's about letting go of the need to control how and when things will get better and trusting that God's timing is perfect. It's about opening your heart to His guidance and allowing Him to work in ways you may not understand in the moment. Healing invites you to lean into God's grace and trust in His plan, even when the path forward feels uncertain. As healing unfolds, it renews your perspective. You begin to see that what once felt like a loss was actually a redirection, a way for God to lead you to something greater. Healing doesn't erase the past, but it reframes it, giving it meaning and purpose that you couldn't see in the midst of the pain. It teaches you to cherish the lessons you've learned and to move forward with a sense of purpose and hope. Healing also renews your connection to others. As you heal, you become a source of encouragement and strength for those who are walking their own difficult paths. Your story of renewal becomes a testimony to God's faithfulness, showing others that no matter how broken they feel, healing is possible and renewal is waiting for them too. Our personal healing is possible and renewal is waiting for them too. Releasing the past is not about forgetting what happened or pretending it didn't matter. It's about choosing to no longer carry the weight of what you cannot change. Holding on to past hurts, regrets, and disappointments can feel like dragging a heavy chain behind you. one that slows you down and keeps you from fully stepping into the life God has planned for you. Letting go isn't easy, but it's essential if you want to embrace the future with open arms and a lightened heart. When you release the past, you make room for new blessings to flow into your life. It's like cleaning out a cluttered space so that something fresh and beautiful can take its place. God's promises for your future are always greater than the pain of your past, but you can't fully receive them if your hands are still gripping old wounds and unmet expectations. Releasing the past means trusting that God is working all things together for your good, even the things that seemed unfair or overwhelming. And there's also a new statement of faith that many of us can say, and that is, it also requires forgiveness, not just for others, but for yourself. Forgiveness doesn't mean excusing what happened. It means choosing to let go of the bitterness and resentment that can take root in your heart. It's about recognizing that holding on to anger only keeps you trapped in the very pain you long to move beyond. Forgiveness is a gift you give yourself, a way to free your spirit and allow God's peace to fill the spaces where hurt once lived. Letting go also means releasing the need for explanations or closure that may never come. Sometimes the answers you seek won't be found in the people or situations that caused the hurt, but in your relationship with God. Trusting Him to handle what you don't understand is an act of faith, one that allows you to shift your focus from what's behind you to what's ahead. Releasing the past opens the door to healing, growth, and transformation. It allows you to see yourself not as a victim of your circumstances, but as a victor through God's strength. It's a declaration that your identity is not defined by your past mistakes or the ways others have wronged you, but by the love and purpose God has for your life. As you let go, you begin to see the future not as something to fear, but as a canvas of endless possibilities waiting for you to step forward in faith. Faith has a unique way of transforming even the deepest pain into a source of unimaginable strength. When life throws challenges your way and you find yourself in moments of heartache and despair, faith becomes the anchor that holds you steady. It allows you to believe that no matter how dark the night seems, there's a new dawn on the horizon. Pain, as difficult as it feels, is not the end of your story. Faith reminds you that it's a chapter leading to something greater. When you lean into faith, you shift your perspective. Pain no longer becomes a permanent state, but a passage, a season that has a purpose. Faith empowers you to trust that God is working behind the scenes, orchestrating every detail of your life for a greater good, even when you can't yet see how the pieces fit together. It takes the weight of the unknown and turns it into an opportunity to rely on something bigger than yourself. Faith invites you to see pain not as a punishment, but as a tool for growth. It teaches you patience, resilience, and perseverance. It shows you that there's strength in vulnerability and courage in allowing yourself to heal. With faith, the trials that once threatened to break you become the very things that refine you, shaping you into a stronger, wiser, and more compassionate version of yourself. Pain, when met with faith, also becomes a testimony. It allows you to inspire others, showing them that healing and hope are possible. Your struggles can be transformed into stories of triumph that encourage those who are still in the midst of their battles. Faith gives you the power to rise above what was meant to hold you back, turning scars into symbols of survival and grace. Faith also gives you the courage to keep moving forward, even when the path ahead seems uncertain. It's the voice that whispers you're not alone in moments of loneliness, and the reassurance that God's promises are unshaken, even in the storm. Faith doesn't remove the pain, but it gives it meaning, reminding you that what you're going through now is preparing you for the blessings and purpose that lie ahead. Through faith, you find that pain has the power to strengthen your spirit, deepen your trust, and transform your life in ways you never imagined. The journey of letting go is never easy, but it is essential for growth and renewal. When we allow endings to happen, no matter how painful, we give ourselves permission to step into the next chapter of our lives with faith and courage. Pain serves a purpose. It shapes us, teaches us, and refines us. Healing, though not instantaneous, is a process that restores our strength and renews our spirit. It reminds us that brokenness is not the final destination, but a stepping stone toward wholeness. Releasing the past is an act of trust, a declaration that what lies ahead is greater than what was left behind. With faith, we turn pain into power, transforming struggles into testimonies of resilience and hope. Embracing God's plan means believing that every hurt holds a hidden blessing. Letting go isn't about losing. It's about making room for something better to come.